All right. Well, I have Rob here from Ascension. And Rob, thanks for coming on, man, and taking some time to talk.
Absolutely. Happy to do it.
Dude, love it. Well, Rob's been an Ascension member, and he was gracious enough to come on and kind of share a couple of thoughts and answer a couple of questions on the program. So, Rob, would love to know first, what was your business like briefly before Ascension?
Um, I would say the simplest way to put it is my business was very singularly focused. And to some that on some level that's a great thing to maintain that degree of focus and everything. However, it was singularly focused in a way that was limiting. My entire focus was inside of the retail space, having been an agent for 10 years now. That was the entirety of my focus has been in the retail space, which removes from my ability to serve all people. There are homeowners who cannot be served or are not in a position to be served at the highest level by a retail transaction. So that was the biggest thing for me is the realization that I am really kind of I've pigeonholed my business inside of the real estate space to specifically a retail avenue.
Right. Going to pretty much the traditional agent retail route.
Correct.
Yep. Stuck.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep. So give me a snapshot. What does it look like now?
So now it's wide open. I carry a mix at any given time of retail business, wholesale business, potential to, starting to look into acquiring my own property. And that's all fantastic for me. The exciting part is the different people I'm now able to serve. I've really, it's just been really exciting to connect with, to walk into a home and know that I have all the possible solutions, right? Like it's here's everything we can do. There's no more yes or no questions. It's okay, of all these ways that we can help you, what serves you in the best possible way. So that's been really cool and exciting.
That's huge. Well, and I remember from one of our previous conversations, didn't your average net profit go up by like 13 or 15?
Yeah. We were talking about that recently. It was like a 14.5% increase in my average net profit into my business. Obviously, as an agent, I'm affiliated with a brokerage who has their piece of, everything that I produce on the retail side. And then I've got lead levers that have different, costs and things like that to them. But yeah, it was a big jump in the idea of adding into the mix some of the wholesale stuff, some of the, that sort of thing. That
kind of those different tools in the tool belt of like, hey, this doesn't make sense as like the traditional listing. Let's utilize one of these other strategies. And
all of a sudden I'm and it's such a cool thing to think about visually. Like the list of people I'm able to serve went like this, and gosh, you're paid in direct proportion of the service you provide. Imagine that the profits are going up too. So shocking. It's super weird, right?
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's been fun to be in that and be involved in that, but then to step back for a minute and look at I keep looking over here at my giant wall-sized whiteboard and to see the numbers on the percentage, what the profit margins look like, to see those trickling upwards is a lot of fun as well.
That feels really good. And that goes into kind of another conversation we had previously of getting to a point where the business now becomes more predictable instead of trying to mitigate. I mean, being on the agent side, like there's always kind of an element of that, but kind of mitigating the peaks and the valleys. And try and get it a little bit more like a little wave.
Yeah, exactly. It's everything is very seasonal. And yet there is a degree of like that curve becomes smaller. I think you put it really well. Like that the wave is there's definitely going to be great months and average months and great months, and you're not, now I'm in a place where I don't expect to ever see those months of like, oh crap, what are we going to do next month?
What are we going to do now? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
There's a
Exactly.
consistent flow trending upwards, and
Yep.
the peaks and the valleys, that discrepancy is smaller.
100%. Yep.
I love it. Well, what's been your biggest takeaway from Ascension?
Wow, how much time do you have?
Narrow it, put you on the spot, narrow it down to one out of the 50,000 things you probably
out of 50,000 yesterday. Honestly, it's really inside of the way that you think. Strategies, tactics, leads, all that is fantastic. If you can't mentally process and be on the right side of serving, none of that goes anywhere. So I would say maintaining that servant's mentality and just working with the mentors and everything else, and seeing from them the degree of servant mentality that you and all the other mentors and everybody involved in Ascension carries into the relationship with us as members. To take, if I can take even just a small piece of that mentality and pour it into the people I'm serving, it changes everything for everybody involved. So I would say that's the biggest thing, is just maintaining that servant's heart and that desire to really keep things moving forward from that perspective.
That was beautiful. I love it. I love it, dude. And you're already, that was an amazing answer, because it so directly applies to what you've done in your business. Like you said, the amount of service has, the level of service and the quality of service has gone up, and so has my paycheck.
It's weird.
Weird,
I
shocking, that principle. And as simple as it
sounds, if I give
like,
just a little bit more, I'm exponentially compensated for that. That's super weird.
It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing because it sounds so simple, but then, as you know, like once you get into it, you really have to be in the right headspace and really have to work through some stuff yourself to get to that place.
I feel like it's getting okay with the fact that with a higher degree of service, there are times when that comes with more work and more effort. There's this honor placed on this idea of making a ton of money behind doing nothing. And I can't buy into that. So it's, yes, there is a degree of leverage once you get to that point. But it's definitely there's effort and work involved, and being okay with that and being excited about that, I think is a big deal.
Yeah, it's huge. Well, Rob, I really appreciate you taking the time, man. And looking forward to continuing working with you in Ascension. And we can see each other in a few weeks at the boardroom event. It's gonna be a good time. But thanks for taking the time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Luke.